Up next, we've got Jayne Chace from Locomizer.
Well, good afternoon. Location data and information on location has been around for quite a while, but the reason I'm here this afternoon is because Locomizer has introduced a very disruptive, patented behavioral algorithm into the mix. And it essentially transforms static analog data into proactive digital place profiles that match to people's interest points and matches those with a certain location at a specific time or day or night. So in summary, what Locomizer is doing is enabling a company to dynamically target a target audience's interest and match those to a particular place. So you, rather than just collecting information, you can find and send your message to the right place. People are being bombarded by messages all the time, but there's an awful lot of interest in this field, and location intelligence is actually growing at 15% per year, and the anticipated budget being spent on it will be about $25 billion by the year 2025. Other market research indicates that executives who've been polled, 94% are saying that they collect an awful lot of data and store it, probably in all the data centers we heard about earlier today. 66% say it's extremely important, but within the next year, 78% of all CEOs who were interviewed say they are going to invest in location intelligence. Locomizer's response to this demand is a solution that amalgamates all these vast amounts of information into anonymized GDPR-compliant profiles. It takes the information, runs it through an behavioral algorithm, and then comes up with the digital place profiles. The software solution is geo-agnostic, which means that it can be used anywhere in the world, and it's applicable for multiple market sectors. Essentially, this is the technology which is embedded in the audience discovery platform. The information, the raw data, is combined with places of interest, and then it's put through the place profile engine, and the outcome are heat maps. And the heat maps are aligned with different audience interests. So that if you have a profile of somebody you want to know what their interests are, where they'll be at a certain time, this is the type of a program that we hope that you will use. Sorry. It's especially appropriate as a value proposition for telcos. I've been in this industry for over 20 years, and I'm always hearing, wow, we have so much customer data, but what do we do with it? How can we monetize it? And that's the key. And so by taking the anonymized data from all the that telcos collect, putting it through the algorithm for Locomizer, the outcome will be specific profiles. And as a result, you can take those and you can use them to cross-sell, to upsell, or perhaps work with another customer in a B2C capacity, and use the data to sell on your user data, which is anonymized again, which is the key thing, but use it to sell certain products. The application, the audience discovery platform, is applicable to a lot of different market sectors. One of them happens to be commercial real estate. So for example, Locomizer is working with CBRE, one of the largest estate agents in the whole world. And they came and asked, where would you suggest that we locate a big office complex that we've been asked to build because we want to know if the employees, potential employees for these types of organizations will be nearby, will they have to commute a lot, et cetera, et cetera. Smart cities want to know where they should locate different things. So if you can analyze the patterns of where people are at certain times of day, you can put your facilities, you can put your services in the right place. In fact, if you just think when it comes to retail footfall, in London they're talking about this week of closing off Oxford Street. Yes, they've done that for a while, but they want to, instead, because so many retail outlets are closing, they're thinking of making Oxford Street now a customer experience opportunity. So the question is, who's going to be there? Which customers should they have? And by using the Locomizer analysis, you can find out what type of people would tend to frequent what area and at what time of day. We're working with an awful lot of big brands. These are some of Locomizer's customers, the brands, the agencies, the media owners. A lot of big brands who are saying now, wow, I can use this information. Again, the key here is anonymized so that you can come up with the right profiles and you can increase the impact and the return on your investments because you're getting to the right people. Locomizer so far has also been doing very well. It's been in existence for just under 5 years. They've now patented the algorithm in the United States and in Japan. Every campaign that Locomizer has participated in has definitely increased the return on investment at least twofold, oftentimes up to 400%. They are working with some of the biggest names, the companies you've heard of, like a JCDecaux with all the out-of-home billboards, some poster scope. In Japan, with Dentsu, with Docomo, and as I said earlier, with CBRE for real estate. Partnerships with other companies like ESRI and HERE, and they're in 5 different regions so far, looking to expand into others. And finally, they have been able to win quite a few awards and have been mentioned in some very important analyst surveys and reports like Forrester. The best thing, of course, is to have a user case or to understand how it actually works. And one of the I've spent a lot of time in my life in B2B, which is nice, but I have to say B2C is definitely more fun. So in this case, Havas Media asked Locomizer to help them because Jameson Whiskey came to them and said, look, whiskey's great, but we really want to increase the number of customers that we have. We've come up with this brand new idea called a LADS campaign. And we want to get the message about whiskey, bless you. We want to get the message to our customers. What do? You can see the impact on here, 225% more effective. But let's hear it right from Jameson.
The older gen loves a Jameson whiskey, but how do you increase appeal with a younger crowd? For real growth, Jameson had to become relevant to 25 to 34-year-old men. They needed to go from dad to lad. We identified out of home as the best medium to lift brand awareness and drive relevance for our audience at key drinking moments. Partnering with data startup Locomizer, we use their proprietary audience discovery engine to pinpoint the best places for Jameson to join the lads. An industry first, we took geolocation signals from social media and ad requests to predict hotspot areas for our lads' preferred hangouts, building a lad map of the UK. Jameson brand metrics soared. We increased visibility, or brand you see more of national, from 43% to 57% to improve saliency. We increased brand for me national from 2% to 9% to improve relevance. We increased on-trade consideration from 13% to 21% to help drive sales in bars. Cheers to that.
So yes, Jameson was delighted. But they're not the only ones. Bethesda Software has wanted to get more attention and sell some of its video games. And when they had Fallout 4 and the sales were starting to fall off, again, they partnered with Locomizer, Posterscope, and Target Media, and came up with more campaigns. Where do we put the advertisements? Where do we reach the right customers who are going to buy the games? And as you can see, again, not only did Locomizer win an award, but the returns were significant. Doom, since Fallout 4 had good sales, Bethesda said, well, we'd like to relaunch Doom in the UK and increase the sales for that. So they were wondering, do we put it in stores? Do we hand out pamphlets? Do we advertise in magazines? Or is there a better way? And the decision was putting it on the side of buses, because the target audiences were in such places that they would see this. And again, the returns were very significant, 400% compared with the ordinary way that they tried to increase sales. McDonald's. In Spain, you have lots of fantastic food. And McDonald's was saying, gosh, we want to increase our sales. How are we going to find where to put restaurants for people who are receptive to fast food? And again, they took a lot of the data. Locomizer helped them analyze where these people tend to be, where at certain times of day, etc. McDonald's was very happy with the increase, and they measured this through clicks and through discounts. So if people saw the ad, they would then come into a McDonald's, and this is how they know that it worked. The company was actually started, it's a young company, even smaller than Maurizio's, 10 people in Locomizer worldwide. The CEO is closing a deal at the moment in Moscow, which is why I, as a board member, are standing here having the pleasure of addressing you. Interestingly enough, the two people were both born one in Vladivostok in Russia, the other in Belarus, and they have identical names. Both are called Alexei Polyakov. One moved a long time ago to Tokyo, and hence some of the customers, Docomo and Dentsu, and the other, Alexei, moved to London, and they have programmers some in Russia and some in Eastern Europe, so a total of 10 people, and they've been getting a lot of notice, and we're on the front cover of this book. If you would like to work with Locomizer to allow them to help you and work with you to grow your sales and have more accurate marketing, matching your audiences to the right location at the right time of day, please don't hesitate to check out locomizer.com or come and see me or write to Locomizer. Thank you.
Thank you, Jayne.